So this is a cute piece of paper that has a tiny correction on it. Hopefully it's the right way.
So for any individual of a marginalized community, the burden to represent their race
as a whole is more evident. Do I agree or disagree?
I feel like when you're a member of like a marginalized community, you definitely feel a certain pressure to represent your race as a whole because, you know, people view us as a very monolithic figure. Like when you think of Black people, everything that's attributed to Black culture represents all of us.
The way I was brought up and the people that I, ended up learning from, like my grandma and my, aunts and uncles, that really shaped me because when they're telling you stories about their lives and what happened in Guyana and all that, you hear the politics of it, you hear the politics of race, you hear the politics of, class, of gender. So all of those stories I walk with. There's a burden of being a Black filmmaker, being a woman filmmaker, being a queer filmmaker, making sure that I get it right. And I just think that's because there's so few of us for a long time that was, given any permission or any kind of, support to make the work.
You know who your parents are and stuff, and then you want to like kind of like live up to a certain image that they've created of you, because when they come to a new country, they still want you to like preserve, certain elements of their culture. A lot of the stuff that they grew up with though is also flawed narratives in their head and stuff about what is and isn't right.
I just saw a lot of what my older brothers had to go through with racism. I heard story of them being chased on the subway system, coming home, when people were, calling them the N-word and trying to beat them up, because they're two Black guys. I'm lighter than my brother. I have a brother that's really, darker skin. And he just loved me dearly, and he'd take me around everywhere. And he's much older than me. And people would be at the store asking me questions and not asking him. And he's older.
Because you were lighter.
Because I was lighter.
And you walk with that too?
I walk with that too. That gaze of me being different. I saw that at a very young age. I can't shake it. I always tell people I can't get rid of it. That's just part of how I grew up. I saw that. I feel that.
I don't think that's happened to me. No, I don't think it's happened to me yet in that sense. I think, and even if it has, maybe I'm not aware of it.
Why yet?
I mean, yet because we don't know.
The family tonight saying he is victimizing them again. Here's Steve Osensami.
Yesterday, the Pasquotank County Sheriff said it was one shooter. But then today he said it was multiple deputies.
The officer who shot Dante Wright is on administrative leave, but members of the community are calling.
Today morning in Elizabeth City.
Acquitted of killing an unarmed Black teenager.
As immigrants, when they came, you want to do well. You want your family to succeed. Or else, why come?
Why do that huge, long pilgrimage and that long trail across?
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. If you're going somewhere abroad, you have to succeed. And that's what back home told you. You have to uplift the family. You have to carry the family name. And when communities succeed, I suspect that burden probably filters away or is alleviated a little bit. But when communities are oppressed and held back, you still hear that voice, probably more so.
When you're a kid, you have a certain innocence and excitement and childlike wonder for things that sort of fades as you get older. And I feel like I just want to make things that allow me to be that kid that's not critical about stuff and can just create. When Black people make things, again, they're viewed through the lens of their Blackness rather than just them as a creative and like as an individual. Even in Hollywood, when you think of Hollywood and like black figures in Hollywood, they're very monolithic in the sense that like it's the black Hollywood community. You're not thinking about just Spike Lee, You're thinking about all these other actors and filmmakers that are members of the same community, and you view them as a whole,
Yeah, for those people who want to make something and maybe is hesitant about it or scared or don't know what to do, write it down. Write down your story and surround yourself with people who can support you. Find a story editor who can help you shape it into like a script that can be shot. It's really important that whatever you do, it comes from a place of really good writing and really good storytelling. So start there, and I wish you luck.
Be like, yo, tell these kids they can do whatever they want in life. Especially these black kids that feel like they won't amount to anything because of all these different things that society is like putting in their heads and all these things that they see when they watch the news and stuff. Like just not ignore it, but like don't let that be your fate. Like don't look at that and say, oh, I'm gonna be like, that's gonna happen to me too, because it can be a self-fulfilling like prophecy. Just kind of, look at that and be like, and look at what these people say about us or like the way that we're represented. Just tell yourself, I'm gonna be above that.